Have you ever heard of the cocktail party effect? If you're in a room full of people socializing with one another, such as at a cocktail party or a restaurant, you are able to pay attention only to your own conversation and drown out every other conversation happening around you. It's a simple example of one of the most complex functions of the human brain people have studied: attention. The Encyclopedia Britannica defines attention as the concentration of awareness on some phenomenon to the exclusion of other stimuli. And there's the kicker. Attention is equal parts filtering out unimportant stimuli and focusing on what you deem important in the moment. For example, when you're driving down a busy street, you have to contend with dozens of distractors to maintain focus on the road ahead of you. Even if you're stopped at a red light and only need to pay attention to the light as you wait for it to change to green, there are other cars on the road, pedestrians crossing the intersection, music playing in your car, maybe your GPS giving you directions, passenger talking with you, signs and billboards on every corner, and so on. So, how are we able to focus? Well, there isn't a quick and easy answer, but what we do know about the brain so far helps us understand this phenomenon a little more. Attention is not driven by a singular part of the brain, but research has shown that the prefrontal cortex plays a significant role. The prefrontal cortex receives signals about sensory stimuli in the environment, then sends signals with a neuromodulator called acetylcholine via many different brain structure pathways to tell the brain what stimuli to focus on and what stimuli to ignore. This type of attentional process is known as top-down, or executive attention, because the focus is determined by conscious goals, such as choosing to listen to a class lecture while ignoring your classmates' conversation behind you. The dorsal subsection of the prefrontal cortex is specifically involved in this type of attention. Some of the brain structures on the receiving end of the dorsal prefrontal cortex's top-down control include the thalamus, which is a hub for sensory information processing, and the intraparietal sulcus and frontal eye fields, which both help control eye movements to direct the focus of visual attention. Purposeful attention can be further divided into subcategories such as spatial attention, sustained attention, and even social attention. But goal-directed attention is not the only way humans control their focus. If attention only functioned as a product of conscious decisions about where to focus, we'd never be able to quickly shift our attention to sudden changes in our environment. Our sensory neurons are designed to readily respond to sudden changes or large contrasts in our sensory environments. When something surprising catches your attention, these neurons send signals to brain areas that are usually suppressed during conscious attention, which make up the bottom-up or stimulus-driven system of attention. These brain areas include the ventral prefrontal cortex and the junction between the temporal and parietal lobes, which are involved in memory and sensory processing, respectively. While top-down and bottom-up attention are distinct in theory, the neurological underpinnings controlling these pathways are difficult to separate. In fact, many researchers have concluded that there aren't two separate pathways physically present in the brain, but that all forms of attention are the product of widespread neural communication between sensory processors and executive control centers. To summarize, you're able to attend to your conversation partner at a cocktail party, or focus on watching the traffic light change from red to green because of your prefrontal cortex, which communicates with neural areas located throughout the brain, primarily through the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, to direct your focus towards salient sensory information while suppressing neural reactivity to unimportant stimuli. There is still so much more to understand about how we can pay attention, even though it has been a source of curiosity for centuries. Each day, researchers are uncovering more and more about this complex, abstract phenomenon. This research has helped us better understand our everyday experiences that are heavily influenced by the way the brain pays attention.